The attorney for the former U.S. Navy SEAL who wrote a controversial book about the killing of Osama bin Laden is firing back against the Defense Department. He says author Mark Owen, which is a pseudonym, earned the right to tell his story, but the Defense Department says Owen violated 2 non-disclosure agreements. It has warned of unspecified legal action against him and unspecified associates. The book, No Easy Day, was supposed to be released on September 11th, but will now come out next week. Owen told Scott Pelley in a 60 Minutes interview he has no hidden agenda.
There has been criticism that the book is timed to influence the election.
My worry from the beginning is, it's a political season. This book is not political whatsoever. It doesn't badmouth either party, and we specifically chose September 11th to keep it out of the politics.
Joining us now from Santa Barbara, California, is Brandon Webb, a former Navy SEAL. He's the author of The Red Circle. Brandon is also a friend of Mark Owen. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Tell me, why do you think he wrote this book?
I think he wrote the book essentially to set the record straight. You've seen a lot of books and magazine articles about this particular operation, and a lot of it, I think, really didn't tell the true story. So I think his goal is to really set the record straight.
You've spoken to Mark since all of the news around this book has come out. What does he think about all of this? Is he surprised by the response?
Oh, I haven't really spoken to him too much since this everything has kind of happened in the media, but I think, just with the nature of what's going on, he's a pretty busy guy these days, especially with the death threats that have come out since Fox leaked his name.
Has he had any second thoughts, Brandon, about writing this book?
I haven't really talked to him about that, so I can't really answer that question.
As we mentioned, the Department of Defense sent Mark and the publisher a letter stating that Mark was in material breach and violation of the non-disclosure agreements he had signed. Mark's attorney, Robert Luskin, responded. Let me read that. It says, Mr. Owen takes seriously his obligations to the United States and to his former colleagues. They are as important to him as any mission he undertook while on active duty. Mr. Owen sought legal advice about his responsibilities before agreeing to publish his book and scrupulously reviewed the work to ensure it did not disclose any material that would breach his agreements or put his former comrades at risk. Mr. Owen is proud of his service and respectful of his obligations, but he has earned the right to tell his story. Do you agree with that? Did he earn the right?
Yeah, I absolutely. I think he earned the right to tell the story. I think the big issue is there was no formal review, and that you get into a situation with the timeliness of this, and even though you hear, I'm sure he believes in his heart that he didn't want to make this book political, but then you have a publisher that's trying to drive book sales, and they're well aware that releasing a book of this nature is in the right up before the elections in November. It's going to be politicized. So I think it's going to be an interesting, just to see once everyone has a look at the book and to see exactly what is in it. And I know Mark would never intentionally release any information to put his teammates in jeopardy, but the timeliness of the book is you can't help but put some people in jeopardy with this threat chain, especially now that like I said, Fox released his name. It becomes a security issue at that point.
Brandon Webb, we really appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you can see Scott Pelley's entire interview with Mark Owen on 60 Minutes, Sunday, September 9th, right here on CBS.